You guys hear that? Shh, listen, listen. Those are the cogs turning in the corporate machine. What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming. And overnight, last night, it turns out that EA has now actually fully purchased Respawn Entertainment and all of their tech, all of their staff, all of their contracts, all of their IPs, etc, etc. Now I say all of their IPs, but realistically they only had Titanfall. If you're a little bit confused about that, previously what EA had done is they had contracted out, I believe it was 3 games, well at least 3 Titanfall games to Respawn Entertainment, and then apparently they updated it with a Star Wars game at some point as well. I don't recall a Star Wars one ever being announced, or at least that I remember, but it's not really something I specifically keep up with. It could have been part of the new announcement with the buyout announcement. But the point is that EA now officially own Titanfall, they officially own Respawn Entertainment, they officially own, well, essentially the guys who originally broke away from EA. Because when you think about it, here's what actually happened. After Medal of Honor Allied Assault, the best World War II first-person shooter ever made, some of the team broke off from EA. They left, they formed their own studio. It's a little-known studio. You may have heard about it once or twice before. It was called Infinity Ward and made Call of Duty. And then, of course, much further down the line, they left Activision, set up Respawn Entertainment, and sold it to EA. So now they're back working at EA. Funny how things come full circle like that. Anyway, what does this mean for the future of, well, whatever, the future of Respawn, the future of EA, the future of Titanfall, the future of this supposed new Star Wars game that they're going to be working on? Well, it's confirmed that they are going to be working on a Star Wars game and that they are going to be working on a new Titanfall game. Now, whether EA will have more of a direct hand in this or not remains to be seen just yet, although at the same time they will easily be influencing the game balance and how they're going to remonetize it over and over and over. So whatever comes out from Respawn in the Star Wars universe, which will probably be just like Titanfall but Star Wars, or whenever Titanfall 3 comes out, you know it's going to be absolutely jam-packed, balls to the wall, with loot boxes, pay to win, not just cosmetics, all that good bullshit that we love to hate. But at the same time, there's a little bit with this announcement that confuses a lot of people. The actual announcement of Titanfall 3. Myself included. If you remember, over the last week or two, I actually made a video specifically saying that I believed if EA owned Respawn at the time, that they would have actually shelved Titanfall and shut down Respawn. That doesn't seem to be the case, at least not yet. While the sales of the previous Titanfall games were generally considered to be lackluster, depending on where you look. It's one of those really weird things when you think about it. This is EA we're talking about, so chances are they expected to sell 10 million copies on each platform. But, you know, it's EA. It's kind of, well, it's EA. They're money-hungry, grubby bastards. But it's estimated that the overall sales of Titanfall 1, which released on Xbox 360, Xbox One and PC, sits just over 3 million. And Titanfall 2, which launched on PS4, Xbox One and PC, is also estimated to be just over 3 million. So altogether, you're looking at roughly about 6.5 million sales. That's being a little bit generous too, across 2 games. Not terrible, to be honest. 3 million units each is not too bad. So it's not terrible, it's not fantastic, but again, we have to look at this from the EA perspective. Obviously, they were probably expecting, oh, back in the day, it's like, yeah, Titanfall 1, we're the new Call of Duty killer, we're gonna sell 8 million copies, and then it takes, what, 3.5 years to sell 3 million copies, and then Titanfall 2 is like, yeah, we're finally releasing on the PS4, we're gonna get some of that mad 70 million install base, and then they sell like over 1 million copies on PlayStation, and that's it. Remember, this is EA we're talking about, so enough said. Now, all of the stuff I've mentioned so far with what we're probably going to see from Respawn next with Titanfall 3 will be completely unbalanced and skewed towards the purchase of loot boxes and microtransactions, or whatever they're going to call them, supply drops, Titanfalls, whatever the fuck they're going to call them, and probably in the Star Wars game as well, because realistically, they're going to make it a multiplayer, online-focused Star Wars. It'll be like another Battlefront, basically, but it'll just be a little bit different, because we all know Battlefront is just Battlefield with a Star Wars skin. This one will probably be a bit faster paced and maybe a little bit different, maybe some like big mech combat or big vehicle-based combat or something involved. And of course, loot boxes and microtransactions and fucking rip-offs galore. Keep all of that in mind while I talk about this next part, which is the main reason I wanted to make this video. And that is, we all know what happens when the instant something underperforms from EA's extremely high expectations. But of course, they want to put in the base minimum amount of effort. So if Titanfall 1 didn't sell exceptionally well, wasn't hated by most people, but it kind of fell short of what it was promised to be. Titanfall 2, same deal. It's like, oh, we're bigger and better than ever, and now we have a story mode. It's kind of sad that they actually have to advertise story modes in games these days as a positive thing. But hell, even with that and finally coming to the PS4 in Titanfall 2's case, it still didn't do anything especially great sales-wise. So I think it's going to be interesting when Titanfall 3 comes out. Probably no one will be super hyped. It might sell a little bit better, it might sell a little bit worse, it might sell in around the same. Personally, I don't think it would go too extreme in either direction. I don't think it's going to magically sell 12 million copies. I also don't think it's going to sell 500,000 copies. But of course, the big thing that they're going to focus on, and the big emphasis that EA are going to be looking at, is how can we constantly and consistently make money on this over and over and over again over time. Hence the microtransactions, the loot boxes, the, I don't know, pay to win, the cosmetics, the skins, the whatever the fuck they're going to call it. Or whatever kind of shitty way they're going to do it. And you know what happens the instant that game underperforms. Now, because they technically have two games in the works, they've got the Star Wars one and the Titanfall one. Imagine both these games underperform. And both these games keep, I won't say losing the money, but don't bring in anywhere near as much microtransaction money as they want. Because let's face it, third-party publishers these days are swinging their big dicks around about how much money they're making off microtransactions. So if any of them ever tried to say, oh, it's not viable to keep a studio open, it's not viable to make one new game every 5 years, they're just bullshitting out their arse, because they're publicly saying and publicly touting about how much money they're making from these. So once again, imagine they do technically underperform, but not that they're losing money, not just, they'd still be making a decent amount of money, probably. But imagine they're not hitting EA's sky-high expectations. You can say goodbye to Titanfall. You could say goodbye to whatever Star Wars sequel they would possibly make. And you can damn well say bye-bye Respawn. You heard it here first, people. Mark this video. Nos Qdamus, you've heard it here before. Just like my other one. With Need for Speed, the same deal is going to happen. Games are going to underperform from EA's standards. They're not going to bother. They're going to shelve the series. They're going to do whatever. Titanfall will sit up on a shelf with Medal of Honor, Dead Space, all that other shit. Hell, what else do we have? Dragon Age and, oh, what was the other one? Fucking Mass Effect, among others at this point. So what do you foresee happening? Do you think this is going to go basically like I predicted? Do you think that they're going to probably push out these two games? If they don't do exceptionally well and underperform a little, boom, it's the end of Respawn, it's the end of Titanfall, and it's the end of whatever Star Wars series they're going to make. Because let's face it, EA have a history of this bullshit. Let me know your opinion on the whole situation. Do you think it'll improve the quality of the game? Do you think they will completely gimp it and just skew the balance against the player just so to kind of incentivize loot boxes? Whatever. Let me know all of that good stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, continue saying fuck EA just like I do, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel. Fuck EA.